but like my roommate's towel was on the floor the other day. And I thought about picking up and hanging it up, but I didn't.
We had in our apartment that there was a little bit of like dry laundry detergent that fell next to the dryer, and there was this little pile that sat there for 2 weeks, and whoever had knocked it over didn't clean it up, and so I passed it for 2 weeks several times a day, and I thought hey, I should just take out a vacuum and take 10 seconds to clean that up, but then never did. I finally did eventually because I got so sick of it, but yeah, I thought that one was interesting. That was even just a little thing.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times it is the little things that we pass up. Can you recall why you didn't take the time to clean it up?
Because I'm lazy.
Just...
Because it wasn't my fault that it was there, and that's why I didn't want to do it.
What was it that stopped you from doing it?
I was getting ready, and I thought about doing it, and then I was just like, okay, I don't have time to. So I guess that was the excuse. That's how I justified not doing it.
I think it was just for time. Like I was just really like, oh, I've got to go do this instead, and it wasn't anything big or anything. But looking back, like I wish I would have helped.
And I think we get too busy, and we think that problems are more important to fix than people.
Yeah. I was driving last night into a parking lot and there was pedestrians jaywalking, and I got really frustrated because it was a busy section and they just walked right in front of me and trying to cut me off, but I kept going because I have the right of way when they're not at a crosswalk.
Right.
So that was...
So how did you feel about them at that moment? Like,
I was
what kind
very
of thoughts?
angry. I wanted to roll down my window and yell at them.
Yeah, actually, it happened today, actually, believe it or not. I have a roommate that doesn't like to do his dishes very often. And, yeah, I didn't say anything to the roommate, but inside I was very, very angry. So what I was a nice roommate and actually did the dishes.
For me, I tend to have more pet peeves towards people, I guess. I have problems with like girls mostly who act a certain way, and it drives me insane for some reason, and I'm not very nice towards them just because I've already judged them ahead of time. I think that's where I have it the most, where if they're a little bit too prissy or something, it drives me insane, so I immediately think they're prissy, and then I don't treat them as nicely as I probably would others.
I think kind of to answer your question, some things that would like make people quick to judge is like maybe their own insecurities, like especially with girls. I don't know as much about guys, but if you see a girl who's like really pretty or really good at something, a lot of the times it's like an automatic thing for them to be like, ugh, I don't like her, like stuff like that, just because they're insecure about it. I see that a lot with girls.
Sometimes when you cross the crosswalk and you have someone that like looks at you as they're driving by and you're like crossing, and they actually seem to be hitting on the gas. It's just like, really? Come on, you're in a car, I'm walking, you're in the warmth, I'm in the cold. Couldn't you slow down and pause?
Well, recently I was walking with a lot of books and 2 bags, and I was approaching the Hinckley building, and there were a lot of people around me, and they were all just like walking around me. I dropped my books, I couldn't open the door, and no one helped me, and I kind of thought that I was kind of the person that wasn't being treated as a person, more of like an obstacle, like that people were just kind of going around me.
They go and sleep over, and they say they're going to go somewhere. Instead, they take the car and they go to Canada. And I don't know about it, and they're a little bit long in coming back, and they're detained over the border in Canada, and I don't even know about it. Yeah, we had some issues with that. So what do you want to know?
So when you first heard about that,
I was actually in the temple.
Okay. Good place to be.
Yeah, it was good, and the friend told on my son.
That's right.
Yeah.
When you first heard that,
Yeah.
what was your thought? I want to understand why he did this, or oh my gosh, my son betrayed me.
Yeah, oh my gosh, my son betrayed me. That was the first gut reaction. I was stunned. I was stunned that he would dare take my car and go to Canada. And yet when, calmer minds take over, then all of a sudden we realize, well, he's a teenager, and when I think back about my teenage years, I do stupid things too.
We should be treating people kindly, especially here, because we all know that we're daughters and sons of the Heavenly Father.
One time I was going to the grocery store, I was going to call my friend because she usually needs rides, but I couldn't get a hold of her. And I was driving, pulling out, and I saw my friend. He was riding his bike up to me, and I rolled down my window, and I said, "Hey, where are you going?" And he said, "To the grocery store." I said, "Hey, that's where I'm going. Do you want to ride with me?" He's like, "Sure." And I guess he had taken a trip already, and it just takes a lot of trips on bikes. So I just rode him in my car. I see people, and I'm like, "Hey, do you want to ride?"
At one time, one of my friends, her name's Haley, could kind of just tell that she was, we saw each other just passing between classes, and she didn't. You kind of tell that she didn't feel very good. There was something wrong, and she didn't want to talk about it. And so I thought, I was like, I need to do something for her. And so I went and got ice cream and then took it over to her apartment. And it turned out she'd been having a really, really bad day. Something kind of serious had happened. And I'm really glad that I acted on that feeling. And that ended up being a really, really good, what's the word I'm thinking of? A really good, thing.
There's just things that we should listen to because they really are things that help us take care of people, and everyone that's around us is around us for a reason. And there's no one that you meet or even that you walk by that you're not supposed to meet. Because if you think of all the people in the whole world, and we get to talk to you right now, or I get to meet Jenna, it's not by chance. We're all supposed to be at BYU Idaho together. We're all supposed to be here together and taking care of each other.